This project is what I think is the best modification to a Jeep Wrangler TJ Dome Light. For some reason, when Jeep built this vehicle with removable doors, they didn't provide any way to turn off the dome light once the doors were taken off. This leads to either a dead battery or some other inconvenient way to turn off the light. The other suggestions on the internet include just removing the bulb, but then you have to reinstall it to have light, adding in a switch to the dashboard, but this requires lots of extra wiring, pulling the fuse, which has the same problem as removing the bulb, except you have to take the glove box apart, or these overpriced springs that I'm sure will end up popping off while driving down the road or being forgotten and crushed when the doors are put back on. Before I get into the modification I selected, I had to remove the existing door switch. It just pops out with a little wiggling and a push from the back. Once out, it can be disconnected from the 3-prong plug. To look at this switch in closer detail, it is simply a basic momentary off push button switch with a little extra weatherproofing. The switch I decided to replace it with is from older generation Mercedes cars and isn't terribly convenient to find the proper one. I bought a set of 3 and one of them ended up being the wrong kind even though they share the same part number. Also, I'll put the part number in the description. What makes this switch perfect for this application is that, like the Jeep switch, it is a momentary off push button switch, but also it can be pulled out for a second off position. To illustrate this a little better, we can look at the resistance when the switch is relaxed versus when it is pushed in and clearly see that the circuit is broken when the switch is pushed in, such as when the door is closed. But when the switch is pulled out, it also represents a second off position. For those considering this project too, make sure the one you have has this extra piece to lock it out. The other great things about this switch are the standard square tension mount, the standard M10 by 1 thread, and the standard spade terminals on the back. All in all, this is a perfect project switch. Now to make it fit in the hole. I jumped into Fusion 360 to model up some adapter nuts for the new switches and sent them to the 3D printer. I just used PLA because it is the only material I have in black and it should be great for this application. Also, I will link to the model in the description if anyone else would like to use these too. Once I had a way to mount it, I had to put together a simple wiring harness to work with the existing plug. This way is a little hacky, but I'm always hesitant to make a permanent change with something like this in case it causes a problem later on, but anyone who is feeling bold can simply just cut the existing plug off and add some standard spade terminals. I couldn't find the right size spade terminals to fit the Jeep side of the plugs, so I ended up just grinding some narrower. I also used a zip tie to help hold everything in place. Once the wires are pushed through the hole, the only thing left to do is mount the switch. It's as easy as pushing it through the hole from the back and screwing the 3D printed adapter nut on. Also, don't forget to attach the spade terminals to the switch. The only thing left now is to test it out and make sure it works as expected. It looks like it will turn the light off when the door is closed and also keep the light off by pulling it when the door is removed. I also wanted to try it with the door to make sure there weren't any clearance issues. My favorite part of this switch is the fact that nothing needs to be done to resume normal operation when putting the doors back on. As soon as the door is closed, it works as normal again. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please be sure to like and subscribe. If you found this video useful for your own Jeep or project, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Thanks for watching.